The night sky shimmered like crushed velvet, scattered with stars that pulsed faintly above the glass domes of Elaris Station. From my balcony, I could see the great curve of the planet below, a deep blue jewel rimmed with light. I wasn't supposed to be here. The diplomatic sector was off-limits to engineers, but curiosity has always been stronger than rules. I had heard rumors about the delegation from the Vulpine system, a species known for their cunning intelligence and their unnerving beauty. Fox-like humanoids, with tails that shimmered like molten silver. Some said they could sense emotion through touch. Others whispered that they used that sense to manipulate hearts as easily as they manipulated words. So when she appeared at my side, I almost dropped my drink. "You're staring," she said, voice soft and rich, the edges lilting like a melody. She was smaller than I'd expected, graceful, dressed in thin layers of opalescent fabric that shimmered faintly with movement. Her ears, sharp and furred, twitched toward me as if tuning into my pulse. Her tail flicked once like a question mark. "I didn't mean to stare," I managed. "I was just wondering if the stars looked different from your system." Her golden eyes caught the reflection of the planet below. "They do," she said. "But tonight they look curious." I laughed awkwardly, realizing she was teasing me. "I'm Kael," I said, offering my hand. "Engineer. I maintain the station's atmospheric filters." "Lyra," she said and took my hand, but instead of shaking it, she traced a fingertip along my wrist, where my pulse beat fast. Her tail flicked again. "You shouldn't be here, Engineer Kael. This deck is reserved for the diplomatic banquet." "I know," I admitted. "But I wanted to see what the rumors were about." "And what do they say about us?" she asked, leaning closer. I caught the faint scent of something wild, like frost and smoke. "That you can read thoughts," I said. "Or emotions. That you use your tails to To what?" Her smile sharpened. "Control people," I said. She laughed, a soft chiming sound that sent a ripple through the air between us. "Control. Well, influence perhaps. Guide. Conversation is a current, Kael. Someone must steer it." Her tail brushed against my leg then, lightly like static. Froze. The fur was impossibly soft, yet it pulsed faintly with warmth. I didn't move, afraid she'd take it as permission or rejection, unsure which would be worse. Her eyes half-lidded as if she were listening to something I couldn't hear. "Your heart's fast," she whispered. "Are you nervous?" "You're a diplomat," I said. "I'm just an engineer who wandered into the wrong party." "Maybe," she said. "Or maybe the right one." The crowd behind us hummed with alien voices, laughter, and clinking glasses. The music was low, slow, a rhythm that seemed to sync with her tail's movements. Every time she spoke, I felt drawn in, my thoughts bending subtly toward her words, my responses coming slower, more deliberate. "You know," she said after a moment, "conversation isn't just about words. It's about rhythm, breath, tension." Her tail coiled gently around my leg, the fur brushing my skin through the thin fabric of my uniform. My pulse jumped again, and she smiled as if she'd caught the sound. "That," she murmured, "is where truth hides. I think you're reading too much into a heartbeat." "Am I?" She tilted her head, the tips of her ears catching the light. "Or are you reading too little into it?" The air around us grew still. The sounds of the banquet faded into a soft hum. For a strange, suspended moment, it felt as if she and I were the only ones in motion. Her gaze held me, sharp and shimmering, and I realized she was right. We weren't just talking. We were circling each other, each word a step in a dance neither of us had practiced. Then she leaned closer, her voice lowering. "You came here seeking truth. So tell me, what rumor are you really trying to test? I swallowed. That your people can make anyone fall for them. Her tail gave a slow, deliberate squeeze around my leg. And what do you think? I think, I said, forcing the words through a dry throat, that if that's true, you don't need to try very hard. For a moment, something flickered behind her golden eyes. Not arrogance, not playfulness, but something gentler. Almost sad. That's the problem with truth, she said softly. Once you speak it, someone always owns it. The music changed. Faster now, brighter. She released my leg, the warmth fading instantly. I hadn't realized how close she'd been until she stepped away. The air felt colder without her. Wait, I said. You never answered. What did you mean by claimed the conversation? She looked over her shoulder, the faintest smile curving her lips. You'll understand soon enough, Engineer Kael. And then she was gone, slipping into the crowd, her tail the last thing to disappear, glinting like molten silver in the light. I stood there dazed, trying to recall the exact flow of our talk. But the harder I tried, the fuzzier it became. The words blurred together, meanings dissolving into impressions. Her voice, her eyes, the touch of her tail. A diplomat brushed past me and muttered, "Careful with the Vulpex envoy. Once she claims a conversation, it becomes hers." What does that even mean? Asked. He gave a knowing smile. It means she'll remember every word you said. And you won't. Later in my quarters I found a single silver hair on my sleeve. Soft, luminous, and faintly warm. When I touched it, the memory of her voice stirred again, echoing faintly in my mind. Someone must steer the current. And in that moment I realized. She wasn't just steering the conversation. She was steering me. As the doors of the banquet hall closed behind her, the silence she left behind felt heavier than sound. I tried to chase the memory, her voice, the rhythm of her words, but they slipped like water through my fingers. Every line of our exchange grew hazier, until only the feeling remained. The warmth of her tail, the scent of frost and smoke, the sense that I'd been seen in a way no one ever had before. Hours later, back in my quarters, I pored over the security feed, searching for proof that she'd even spoken to me. The footage showed me standing on the balcony alone, staring into space, lips moving soundlessly. There was no sign of her. No Lyra. No tail. Just me and the stars. Then I saw it. On the railing where she'd stood, a single silver strand shimmered faintly in the light. I reached out to touch it. A whisper bloomed in my mind, her voice clear as starlight. Still thinking about me, Engineer Kael? Froze, breath-catching. I told you, she murmured. Once I claim a conversation, it belongs to me. You can't forget. Not truly. Because now, every time you speak. Her voice brushed against the edges of my thoughts, playful and soft. You'll remember the rhythm we shared. The strand dissolved between my fingers, vanishing like mist. Outside the viewport, the stars seemed to pulse in time with my heartbeat. I tried to speak, to call her name, but the words caught halfway, twisting into something unfamiliar. Somewhere across the station, or perhaps across the stars, I thought I heard her laugh. And that was when I realized. Lyra hadn't just claimed the conversation. She'd claimed me.